Let's stop right there. Let's talk about that right there. In the United Kingdom, the so-called other great nation in the westernized world, in Europe, they are putting CCTV cameras. They already have in 2,000 plus homes, and that was over a year ago. And they said within the next 24 months, they were going to try to make it 20,000 homes. And of course, they always pick the dregs of society, the people that they've CPS'd their kids or have been in and out of family court, the ones that are taking social services over there, but it starts with them and it goes to everybody else. And I don't care how bad it is. We shouldn't have CCTV cameras that are manned 24/7 in our homes. It wouldn't matter if they weren't manned, but they realize they don't have enough infrastructure, enough personnel to have them watch those cameras. So what we also cover in the movie is the fact that you can now watch from your computer. You don't have to be a law enforcement officer. No, you can be just a random person who gets cash prizes for turning in criminals from watching random CCTV cameras, Mark.
And these CCTV cameras, as of last year in London, I don't know how many, but they've implemented a program called ISIS. It stands for Integrated Sensor Information System. Now, ISIS is the Egyptian goddess and mother of the sun god Horus. And these are pre-crime cameras. They have created a software system that looks at groups of people and allegedly can determine whether they're getting hostile or whether they're participating in suspicious behavior. And I mean, one of the officials said, quote, "When a crime looks like it's going to occur, the system will verbally warn the perpetrator and, if necessary, alert the nearest police officer." And this is what's happening, and this is last year. And just imagine what's going to happen in the next few years when these systems come out. Holland has a system that can record and listen to conversations from up to 100 yards away using an echelon type of keyword system. So if somebody's on the streets and they're talking about a particular issue, they're talking about the New World Order, and they happen to mention several key words, if this system can't detect it now, and the next generation system will, just imagine hanging out on the street with your friends and just talking about a political issue, and several keywords come up that in the conversation, and this system can detect that, and all of a sudden it's going to start looking at you closer. It's going to take your picture, put you into a database. This is the New World Order, and this is right around the corner.
It's not only around the corner, it's here. And I want to talk about how they talk to you, how they talk to the populace, the general public out there. They say cash prizes as if it's a game show. They want you to associate those endorphins with that game show, that winning mentality. And of course, money makes us feel good. So it's a cash prize when you turn in your neighbor, but it's not really your neighbor. They're on the other side of town, or they're in a different county, or they're, 200 miles away. But what they want to create and super create, because Hitler created this type of a society where Stasi forces tattletale on one another, and you don't know who the government informant is because you all become the government informants. Your 12-year-old is going to be sitting on these computers. Instead of an allowance, he's going to be like, I can make $20 or $30 or maybe $200 or $300 if I man the cameras for a few days. It's insane to me, Mark.
There was a presentation, you can probably find this on the internet, by a man named Jesse Schell, who used to work as a creative director for Disney. And this was at the 2010, they call it the DICE Summit. It's the Design Initiative Communication Entertain Summit. It's the Summit of Video Game Executives, and he's talking about the future of video games.
Hold right there, because we also go into the future of video gaming and how they want to microchip you in the future with these systems. I'm not making it up. That's a step beyond Project Natal, which is coming out. It's the Alex Jones Show. Back after this. Infowars.com, prisonplanet.tv. Final segment with Mark Dice of markdice.com. He's featured in my newest documentary, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined. It's the Alex Jones Show. I am Jason-Bermas sitting in. And finish up, Mark, you were talking about the future of video gaming.
This is a big shot that used to work for Disney and now has his own video game company. And at this technology summit, he was talking about the future of video games. And he was basically saying, he says, quote, "You have no idea what books what books your grandparents read or where they went on a daily basis, but these sensors," he was talking about sensors that are going to be everywhere, that are going to be on us and all around us everywhere. I'm quoting him here, to be tracking and watching what we're doing forever. And he says, our grandchildren will know every book we've read. And then he goes on to say that they'll know what we did on a daily basis. And he concluded his speech by saying that since this computer system is going to know everything that we do, everything we look at, everything we buy, everything we eat, the books, movies, music that we use, he says that maybe we'll actually become better people.
Oh, yes.
Because we're going to be concerned with people judging us.
Oh, yes. Big Brother needs to judge us in order for humanity to evolve, Mark. That's the big sell. No, it's for our own good. We're not evolved enough right now. We need to be watched so we make better moral decisions. Well, why don't we just make better moral decisions on our own? Why don't we just find a moral compass again, love thy neighbor, work with one another, work against the tyrants that keep taking more and more, and in their own documents they admit it. I don't know if you've seen Capitalism, a Love Story yet. Of course, Michael Moore misidentifies the problem as capitalism when it's really globalism, but Citigroup has these internal documents where they admit we are no longer in a democracy or a constitutional republic or anything of that nature. They admit we are in a plutonomy in which the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer, and the great divide becomes so great, the only thing they're worried about is an elastic effect where we, the people, actually get a spine, Mark, and revolt.
You know, the futurist Ray Kurzweil has written some pretty incredible books about the future of technology, the age of intelligent machines, the age of spiritual machines. He actually admits in one of his books that in the future, I think he predicts by about 2029, that there's going to be a tremendous gap because of technology, between those who are just completely politically disconnected, socially disconnected. And he kind of dances around the fact that there is going to be a technocracy elite that have access to all of this technology, that use the technology, and then just the slaves that really have nothing and are kind of just left, running on the treadmill, slaving to the man, as I like to say.
But I even think that's a soft term, a technocracy. That implies as though the people will have some say in this. No, we live in a technopoly now run by the military-industrial complex that really started to gain momentum in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and by the 60s, Eisenhower had identified it and warned us against it. Again, that is featured in my new film, Invisible Empire. We really go over the entire history in a nutshell of the term New World Order, of its modes of control, of those who wanted a one-world government, a one-world society where the state is God, where a collectivist mindset is put upon us, and we no longer have our humanity or individuality, Mark.
No, that's part of the plan. And it gets so creepy. I mean, some people can't even grasp what it is that's happening and what's coming around the corner. I have dug up actual patents of subliminal messaging devices that have been patented for 20 years. Back in the late 70s, the Wall Street Journal and Time Magazine did articles on shopping malls that were implanting subliminal messages in the music system to try to get people to not shoplift, and apparently they had success. There's one patent here that I have that was filed in 1989 that can submit subliminal messages, not even with
Mark,
music
people
covering it.
Don't understand the amount of control they're really under. I thank you for joining us. It's the Alex Jones Show. Back after this.